a joint. Writing songs is hard. So welcome to Gear Wizard TV. Say welcome to Gear Wizard TV. One more time. Welcome to Gear Wizard TV. Fuck it, let's light up.
Let's light up indeed, everybody. Welcome to another Tuesday night, another episode of Gear Wizard TV, where we get high and lately we just talk about movies. And that's what we're going to do tonight. Before we get into it, let's bring in our little buddy. Hey, JD.
Hey, Wizard.
What's up?
Oh, just dreaming about little cheeseburgers from White Castle. Those crunchy little onions that are like flavor crystals exploding in your mouth with every bite.
This movie about broke me because I want fucking White Castle so bad.
Oh, God.
and I can't find them in Vermont.
I mean, I'm an appreciator of the supermarket White Castle burgers because they're the only thing I can get in 2,000 miles. So I'm going to pick some up this week.
They just don't quite cut it. But I do know the secret to cooking them.
The frozen, yeah, you got to let them thaw in the microwave. I mean, you got to let them thaw in the fridge and then cook them.
No.
That's what I do. No?
No, there's another step. So you know that weird broiler pan that you have at the bottom of your oven?
Yeah, I use that.
You put water in the bottom of it.
Uh-huh.
Put the White Castles on top, seal it in foil, and stick them in the oven.
Yeah.
And you get the steam.
Yeah.
Because the steam is
the
the secret.
Don't broil them, though. Put them in the oven.
Right.
Bake it. But, okay.
Yeah, the steam gives them that White Castle steaminess.
Right, I'm doing it.
Because for those of you who may not be familiar with the White Castles, they're steamed.
Steamed hams.
They spread dehydrated onions on the grill, and then they cover them in water and heat it to boiling, and then they put the little patties down. The patties have 5 holes, one in each corner, one in the middle, so the steam comes up. And then they put the bun on top of that, so the bun gets steamed.
How do you know all these little secrets about the holes? The number of holes in the burger?
I take my fast food seriously.
Apparently, I thought I did too, but that.
And I'm a neurodivergent stoner.
Hey, okay, all right.
So I go down rabbit holes.
Yeah. I mean, I have a steamer now because I got a rice cooker a couple months ago. I use it all the time. But I've been thinking about using the steamer portion to try and make my own steamed burger. So I will let you know how it goes. I'm not talking like tiny little paper thin White Castle. I'm gonna try and steam like a whole burger patty. I don't think I'm gonna go super thick. I feel like that wouldn't work, but I think as long as I don't go too thick with it, I'm gonna play around. I'm gonna see what I can do. Yeah.
I'm intrigued to hear.
Yeah, same. I'm intrigued to tell.
I spilled weed on myself.
Oh no.
Yeah, we had a grinder accident.
Hey, these things happen.
They happen to me a lot. I take my junk food seriously, which is why I have a container of banana runts.
Are banana runts your favorite flavored runts?
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
I love the banana runt.
I like the grape.
Grape is good, but something about banana. I don't like bananas, but I love banana flavored candy.
You like the agreed upon chemical flavor that we all decided is banana? I think about that sometimes because I too am a neurodivergent stoner. How we've like created these flavors and we all know what they are, even though they don't taste like the thing that we say that they taste like.
Well, see, I thought that for a long time, but evidently that's what bananas used to taste like.
So they say.
And the strain of bananas that tasted like that died out. And now we just have the banana that we have today, which is also potentially going to die out.
Well, good riddance, I say.
And we're going to
And
run
go.
out of helium.
We're not going to run out of helium too soon.
Sooner than you think.
We'll see.
It's a strange world.
There'll be no more balloons at parties.
We'll just have to find something else to fill them with.
That's right. Little kids be huffing nitrous.
There
Just
were no balloons at the Ren Fair.
Was there a nitrous tank in the parking lot at the Ren Fair?
There were no nitrous tanks.
Yeah.
We were in New Hampshire, so there's precious little weed. Oh, I forgot my hat. I'm not going to go get it. We'll save it for next week.
I keep forgetting that New Hampshire.
I have a new hat.
New Hampshire's a bunch of pussies. I'm sorry. I
It
apologize
is.
on the off chance.
Weed's
Yeah.
not legal in New Hampshire.
No, in New Hampshire's whole thing is like fake. It's just this fake tough guy bullshit. The whole vibe in New Hampshire: live free or die. Oh, you gotta come here because but then, oh no, can't do weed. Oh, what about the children? Go fuck yourself, New Hampshire.
Giant fucking liquor stores, huh?
Yeah. Run by the state. You can only buy liquor in New Hampshire at stores that are run by the state.
Vermont is similar along those lines as far as being run by the state.
Huh.
I don't know. There's pluses and minuses to that, I'm sure. But I
I'm
don't want to
sure.
get political. That's not what we do here.
No.
No politics. We hate on New Hampshire, but
The politics of weed.
everybody that surrounds New Hampshire hates on New Hampshire. So
Yeah.
that's nothing new.
As someone who grew up in a surrounding state, it's my God-given right to hate on New Hampshire.
And I live right across the border.
Right.
So I have to put up with it a lot. Vermont. That's the place to go, my friends.
Vermont's great.
Vermont is everything you've heard and more. Even if you don't like fish. I am not into the fish, but
I don't associate Vermont with fish.
the band.
Oh, fuck fish too.
The
Sorry,
band
I know I'm
fish.
sounding angry today, but yeah, fuck fish and fuck New Hampshire. Yeah, the band fish.
Nothing against fish. I just don't like jam bands in general.
Well, that's what I have against them. So nothing against them except for what they are. I guess.
Well, it's not my thing because, but I see jam band. I see a bunch of 40-year-old guys who don't know how to fucking end a song.
Right.
Let it end. I can't do the Dead.
No.
I can't do the Grateful Dead because just stop. Play another song.
Yeah.
Like Punk had it right. Give me 3 minutes. I shouldn't say it. I'm a prog fan, so. But it's not just the same thing over and over and over again. You go places in Prague. Where the fuck are we going?
I don't know. To White Castle. Let's do it.
Because we're high.
Yes, we are.
At least I'm high.
I am as well.
So we're taking a trip back. We did Harold and Kumar Christmas.
Ugh, yeah, we did.
Because it was Christmas. And I had never seen it. But we decided now we're going to go back to the beginning. I think, however, did we lie last week?
I think so, but that's okay.
Yeah, I think at some point we said we were going to watch Tenacious D, and then all of a sudden, I blame Jethro-Bot. He made me think that we said we were going to watch Harold and Kumar. So we did.
And that's fine. I'm glad we did.
What was your history with Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle? Did you have one?
I had seen it once in 2000, whenever it came out, and that was it. And then I saw it again today. That was my history. It inspired me enough to drive 200 something miles to a White Castle though, because there were no White Castles near me, and the nearest one was a about 4 or 5 hours away, and drove out there. And it was not in a. It was a long drive to go to a very scary neighborhood. I remember that. We just plugged in White Castle and GPS, and it took us to the nearest one. And it was not in a place where like I wanted to. It wasn't like, hey, yeah, let's park and like go and like explore. Like no, like wherever it was, some shithole Jersey or New York suburb, whatever it was like just all right,
Get your burgers and leave.
yeah, we're getting the burgers and we're turning around and driving home, eating the burgers on the car. So that was my experience with Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. Think of that what you will. Inspired me to take an adventure. So
I definitely would have taken the adventure had I been anywhere near.
yeah,
But I, of course, was in Austin.
would have been a much longer drive then.
I was in Austin when this came out. Probably saw it at the Draft House, in fact. And no, White Castle was far too far away.
Yeah.
And it made me sad. I don't know why I never revisited it. Because I do remember really, really liking it. Particularly Neil Patrick Harris was kind of a revelation.
Mm.
Playing so against type. But then I don't know that I ever watched it again. Oddly enough, I'm pretty sure I own a copy of it. Yeah, it's sitting right there. I bought it, but I never revisited it. And I don't want to spoil anything, but this rewatch made me question why.
Same.
Why did I wait? We mentioned Neil Patrick Harris. Before we get going, I think it is well worth mentioning. He pretty much had no career at this point. He had done Doogie Howser, and I don't even remember if he had done anything else. He definitely had not done much else.
It was definitely before the NPH Renaissance, that's for sure.
No, this began the NPH Renaissance.
Right.
No question about
Good point.
it. I don't think anyone, including him, would argue that this is what brought him back.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He had done a couple of
Nothing really. Like
TV one-offs. I show up in a couple episodes. He played Doogie Howser in an episode of Roseanne. Still very young. But yeah, a lot of TV stuff. Outer Limits, RuPaul, Christmas Wish, Joan of Arc, episode of Will and Grace. Just one-offs on TV shows. Starship Troopers, he did in '97, which I thought he was very effective in it.
Yeah, he was good.
Basically playing, a Nazi. Very against type again, which didn't seem to do much for his career at all. He did the sidekick gig in Undercover Brother, I remember. That was, 2 years before this. But then this really set him off. And I think this is what got him the Barney character in What About Your Mother, or whatever that show is. I never watched.
How I Met Your Mother.
How I Met Your Mother. What About Your Mother?
What about her? What about your mother? Would have been a better name.
And he made $1 bazillion?
Yeah, he was on that for a long time. 208 episodes. I've never seen a single one of those 208 episodes, but somebody has. A lot of people have.
I know people that loved that show dearly.
Same.
I don't think I was the target audience, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Well,
We all like the same things. life would be really boring.
So boring.
And I might like it if I watched it. We have been doing this thing. Uh, it's a Spotify. It's not a Spotify business, but it's tied in. They use Spotify, and you have a team of people, and over like a 4 month period, they'll give you a topic, and everybody picks a song that they think relates to that topic, and then we all listen to them and vote on how we felt about them. Uh, but what I like about it is I keep every week there's 3 or 4 songs where it's like I would never listen to this on purpose, and I'll probably never listen to this again, and it's really fucking good. Like I totally get why somebody else would be into this. And there's been a couple of them that's almost like, yeah, I'm gonna listen to that 3 or 4 more times before I never go back to it. And
We are
that's fun.
we are digressing though, as we do.
Well, I mean, we're potheads. That's kind of what happens.
I just realized the movie wasn't playing yet. I'm not kidding. I thought that it was. That's
No,
bad.
because we will talk about the movie.
Will we?
So let's mostly. We might do some other things. And we have a technical difficulty. I have to re-upload the movie. Because evidently when I left the studio, the movie stops or unloads. But we're back.
Okay. Well, that was quick. That was a quick
Mhm.
You said re-upload the movie. I was thinking like, oh, it's going to take an hour.
I thought it might take 5 minutes.
No, seems like it took 20 seconds.
Yeah,
Yes.
it must have already been there. It was cached.
Directed by Danny Lehner. Did anyone look up Danny Lehner?
I did not look up Danny Lehner. That's one of those things I meant to do, but I really didn't care.
I care a little.
But we open up with 2 douchebags. Very,
What?
very much.
One played by Ethan Embry of what was the big teen movie that he's most well known for? With what's her name? Can't hardly wait. Can't hardly wait is the one. And other big things of the time as well. But that was.
It was one of those guys, Ethan Embry. I am supposed to know who the fuck this guy is, and I just blanked. Couldn't think of who he was or why I should care. But again, I don't think I'm his target audience. And then lovely, lovely John Cho.
This is from the director of Dude, Where's My Car? And that explains why, okay, because there's a joke at the end of the movie where he straight up says, "Dude, where's my car?" And I was like, that's definitely a throwback to the popular movie that came out a few years before this. But it's even funnier now that we know that it was the same director. So he threw that little Easter egg in there. And here's Fred Willard absolutely owning this one scene, just like he does every time that he's on screen in any movie.
Yes. Has there ever been a Fred Willard performance that I didn't fucking love?
And this is where he's always in his element, sitting down in a chair like that, like just kind of just saying stuff. This is
pining.
Yes, exactly. I mean that's basically what he does in every holy shit, I'm this total pothead because I'm not remembering the name. Christopher Guest. Thank you. That's what he did in every Christopher Guest movie that he was in. Before, what's your favorite of his Christopher Guest roles?
Oh man, Best in Show.
Yeah,
Best in Show. He has so many good lines in Best in Show. Talking about the dogs. Doing it doggy style. Which is
For
not nearly as funny when he's not saying it.
for me, though, it's a mighty wind.
Very
And
good. Very good in that, yes.
it really, like, all those movies are very close together in my mind, quality-wise. Yeah, so Kumar is here. He is at a law school interview, but he is blowing the interview.
Med
Med.
school.
Thank you.
Well, he's
Some
winning the
schools for smart
interview
people.
until his phone rings.
Yeah.
And sounds like a bong. And
And
he
then he
takes the
answers.
call. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say. Then he answers the phone and he just starts making all kinds of comments about weed and sex in front of Fred Willard.
Because not bad enough we took a phone call during an interview.
Right.
I'm not doing anything important.
Yeah, that's right. He says that. He literally answers the phone and says, "I'm not doing anything important."
And we have our actual villains from the film show up right away. The extreme guys cut him off while he's trying to park. At the
Yes.
beginning of the movie. And you don't think anything about it at the time. But they keep coming back.
I was excited by this one moment because he sticks his key in a mailbox that is the same apartment number that I live in. So I felt a special kinship right off the bat. Okay, also this woman who lives in the building, she's a Hispanic woman that he has a big crush on, and he pines away for her the whole movie. Is she the same? I don't think it's the same actress, but is she supposed to be the same character that he's married to that he's gonna marry in the third movie, Danny Trejo's daughter? Are we supposed to believe that that's her?
I wondered that myself, and I meant to look it up.
On it.
And I did not. That's an excellent question. No.
It feels like yes.
Her name in that movie is Maria.
Okay, then it's got to be her. But it's
So
not the
yes.
same actress, right? Maybe it is. I guess
Well,
I thought
now,
it was.
yeah, you're making me question.
It is the same actress. She's in all three of the movies, and it's the same
Yeah.
actress. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
that's Paula Garcias.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad that they.
Garcias.
And this movie makes me want to watch that second movie. I've never seen the second one.
I have never seen the second one either, and I definitely
Yeah. Well,
after seeing 1 and 3, you almost have to
right.
to go back now because they've both been really, really good.
And a little character background here. So Kumar doesn't want to be a doctor, but he feels like he has to because his dad and brother are doctors, and so he's just really just happy just farting through life, though, trimming his pubes in his roommate's bedroom for no reason.
With
There's
his
no
roommates,
Yeah.
roommate's trimmer.
Which he announces he's been using to trim his butt hairs as well. Yeah. Yeah, see right there. He said, "Oh, I use those to trim my nose hair," and that's when Kumar's like, "Yeah, I cut my ass hairs with them." I don't know who is out there trimming their ass hairs with the scissors ever, anyways, but it's very, very not good roommate behavior. Really bad roommate behavior.
People that have hairy butts.
Yeah, I know.
One of these gentlemen went on to work with the Obama administration.
He did, and I think that there's at least one Obama joke in this movie, unless I'm thinking of something else I watched today.
He's wearing the I Love Bush, but it's the pussy kind.
Yeah. Yeah, so here they are. They're getting a little hungry. They're getting the munchies. And they're about to see a White Castle commercial. And by the way, did White Castle, how much, like, Did you check to see how much money White Castle put into this movie? Was this just the most expensive commercial ever made?
No, they actually had to go to White Castle and say, "Will you
Okay,
let us do
I
this?"
knew it was one or the other.
Uh,
Wow.
and White Castle allowed them to use all their stuff, and then they did like a tie-in cup, I want to say.
Uh, there we go. They're seeing
But
the White
no,
Castle
I
commercial.
don't think White Castle actually wound up paying them. I think it was more like, "Yes, we'll let you do this."
Right. That's wild. I mean, it's the most elaborate. This whole movie is just such a commercial for White Castle.
It certainly did not hurt White Castle's business.
No, I feel like White Castle, and they picked correctly picking White Castle. Like there was nowhere else that they could have really picked that everyone in the country would be vaguely familiar with. Like you can't just do it. Go to McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's. There's one on every corner. You can't do something regional like Whataburger, because it's like it's too niche to people who don't live in a place that have Whataburger. But everyone had like White Castle was a place that had been around for a long time that everyone had some kind of brand recognition with because of the fact that they're in the freezer section at grocery stores and because of like the Beastie Boys saying about White Castle at least once or twice. And White Castle is just something that lives in people's minds. So they're really like it was either White Castle or just like Harold and Kumar have the munchies and then they go to a fictional business. So like yeah,
But people have that love though. Like I have not had them that often, but like
yeah.
it has stuck with me from the first time I had a White Castle in Chicago. And
Well, you were probably super high or drunk if you
no,
had
this
it
was
too.
even before I was old enough to get high.
Huh.
But it was the most amazing thing I had ever put in my mouth. And they were tiny, and there was just everything about them was different. It was so good.
So
Now
here's
I'm pausing it here because this is one of my favorite side things in the movie for two reasons. One, David Krumholtz, who, if you're not familiar, the guy on the right, uh, went on just a couple of years after that to play my favorite side character in the movie of my favorite TV show, Serenity.
yes.
And he is Mr. Universe. And I kept wanting him to say, "You can't stop the signal.
You can't stop the signal, Mac.
You can't stop the signal." But he wouldn't. And the other one is the pipe made out of the shofar.
Yes. So these are the Jewish Harold and Kumar. They live across the hall. They're just the exact same characters as Harold and Kumar, except that 100% of their personality is based around being Jewish, and uh, they are smoking out of a shofar, which, for those who don't know, is the horn of a ram, ceremoniously blown in times of battle to warn people of various battle things. There we go.
I love it. It's so cool. I love his little stoner yarmulke too.
Mm-hmm.
They are in all three movies. And I hate that the one frame I had to stop on there was Katie Holmes' titties. Uh,
Oh, I thought that was on purpose. I mean, who?
no, it had nothing to do with Katie Holmes' titties at all.
I mean, I don't know that anyone would have ever seen that movie, The Gift, if it wasn't the entire. When that movie came out in 1998 or 1999, the entire buzz around it was this was a movie that had Katie Holmes' titties in it, and yeah, that was it might be a good movie. It's a Sam Raimi movie. I don't know. It's a weird, it's like it's a movie that nobody. When was the last time you ever heard The Gift mentioned?
I don't think I ever saw it,
Yeah,
let alone.
I think I'm gonna rewatch it.
I bet you are now. And I know why.
She is a fine actress, Katie Holmes. Of all of Tom Cruise's wives, she was one of them.
Now, I have never seen this movie.
Am I correct that it was Sam Raimi?
No, it was not Sam Raimi. It was Joel Edgerton.
Oh. No, you're looking at the wrong Gift. You're looking at the
Am
gift that
I?
had Jason Bateman in it and Rebecca Hall.
Oh, okay. That was the wrong gift. You're right. That
Yeah.
was the wrong gift. Here we go. Sam Raimi. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, it's got Keanu in it. How have I
Really?
not seen that? And it kind of pisses me off that now everybody thinks Keanu Reeves is cool. Because I remember when you people didn't. You
I
people
know.
used to make fun of him. You mocked him. I always loved him.
Yeah, people used to really give him shit about being a bad actor. I remember that too.
Yeah.
You forget that because anybody who's born 20 or 30 years younger than us doesn't even know that like, because Keanu's just a god in the modern times, as he should be.
But no, it was a time when it was a
Yeah,
joke, and and
he
you
was
and
the butt of a lot of jokes for sure.
people looked down on you when you would say that you loved Keanu.
Yeah,
I didn't care. I have always loved Keanu.
I never thought he was a bad actor, like at all. I
No,
mean, he played
no.
it's Bill and Ted, or Ted was a character, and yeah, he played it well because he does have like a little bit of a sort of boyish, you know, doofish charm to him, but like it worked for like in Point Break. I just watched Point Break a few weeks ago again. I love Point Break.
Yeah, Point
And
Break is
like,
awesome
yeah, it is awesome, and he's awesome in it. Like
because it's got Keanu and Swayze.
right, and there were a ton of jokes though, like oh, Keanu Reeves is an FBI agent, but it's like, dude, have you seen Point Break? Because yeah, Keanu Reeves is an FBI agent, absolutely works.
And I
Whoa,
will stand by River's Edge, one of my favorite movies of all time. He didn't
yeah,
get nearly enough love for.
I've got to revisit this Gift movie though because it was directed by Sam Raimi and it was written by Billy Bob Thornton.
So we get to White Castle,
No, this is not what. Oh,
and it's not White Castle.
right.
It has changed to another restaurant 4 years ago.
And what is the name of this actor? His cameo here. He was in a lot of things around the time that this came out.
Yes, very popular character actor whose name I totally blanked on.
I'll have it here.
Anthony Anderson.
Anthony Anderson, that's the one. And yeah, absolutely hilarious. One of a few actors in this movie who's just in one scene and steals the scene that he's in. But he is just this half insane guy working at this fast food restaurant. He's like, yeah, go to White Castle. White Castle is better than this place.
It might even be further than half.
More than half insane. Okay. Yeah.
Just make me want to burn this motherfucker down.
And then come on, Boogie, let's burn this motherfucker down. But he stops himself just shy of burning the motherfucker down, which is why I gave him the half insane. We'll go 3/4 though.
He did, however, destroy an entire rack of hamburger buns.
He did. Because somebody mentioned White Castle. Oh yeah, okay, I forgot. I'm gonna go back. He's all the way insane. Yeah, this joke just keeps on getting worse. That face. I'll give you a hint. It's semen.
Animal.
It was the pause. It was the pause between that. It's right before that got me though, because he goes, like, it was so obvious. He's like, yeah, me and Pookie, we made the sauce ourselves. So obviously, what he's gonna say, you think? He goes, I'll give you a hint. It's semen. Long pause.
While you're shut, yeah.
Semen.
Oh, it gets worse.
How are they getting animal semen? Nobody wants to know.
Harold has freaked out and thrown the weed out of the car.
Yeah, son of a bitch.
So now they don't have any weed, but they're close to Princeton.
You've been in cars where people have done that, haven't you? Where you handed your friend the joint, he got freaked out and tossed it out the window? Because that's happened
never.
to me. Wow.
Never.
You've always had better friends than I have.
And Harold is insecure about his Koreanness.
Yes. He refers to himself sort of, in a roundabout way, as a Twinkie. He says he doesn't want this girl to call him a Twinkie, which is, I learned, yellow on the inside and white on the inside. But they're at Yale. Is that the school that they're at?
Princeton.
Princeton. They're at Princeton because Harold is being married off to, more or less, to an Asian girl who goes to school there. He doesn't really want anything to do with her, but it seems like it was some sort of an arranged thing. And they show up to her room.
Kumar, no, they go there though because Kumar knows a guy he can buy weed from.
Right.
Princeton. Or he knows he can.
He knows he can. He doesn't know the guy yet.
But they have to hang out with.
Right. Thank you for
God, what's her name? Kim?
Is it Kim?
Cindy Kim.
Cindy Kim.
Cindy Kim.
Oh yeah, this asshole is like, so he finds a drug dealer. He finds a drug dealer just by walking through the halls of Princeton, going like, "Anybody got weed?" And everybody's just like, "No," and looking at him. And then he finds this shady ass kid who's like, "I'll sell you in a dime for 80." Is where they're at. What kind of hippie are you? A capitalist hippie.
Hey, that's the thing about hanging out in an Ivy League school, man.
Yes.
It's all rich kids, so fuck yeah.
Right.
We're gonna take advantage of them.
And hey, what did you think of this joke? This is one of the few scenes in the movie that I completely remembered. Like as soon as these girls showed up, I was like, "Oh God, here we go." It seems like every stoner movie has at least one like scatological scene in it, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's a thing.
It is. How do you feel about this scene that's coming up where these two attractive British girls are shitting their brains out playing a game called Battle Shits, whose rules are extremely unclear.
So on the one hand, it's not my thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure why we have to have shit humor all the time.
Uh-huh.
On the other hand, though, if you're gonna do it, this is how.
Sure.
Because it was so out there, and it was so surreal, weird. What the fuck is this game? No, it doesn't make any sense. And it's actual. That's not simulated sounds. Those were recorded in an actual New Jersey public toilet.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all.
So we have committed.
Very real. Yeah.
We have committed to this bit, and we went there. We went all the way there.
Yeah, they're hiding in the women's room in the stall when these two gorgeous women that they think they're about to go have sex with decide that they have the taco shits. And
which is even funnier in a British accent.
Yes.
I have the worst case of taco shits. Taco shits.
Yeah, and then they're like, "Let's play Battle Shits." I haven't played it since since I was in camp. And then they just take turns just dropping loud, disgusting sounding, just wet shits, and just saying like, "You sunk my destroyer." But again, it doesn't. There is no like easily identifiable rules to this game. They're just saying random things while they're shitting.
I've never had a friend I was comfortable enough to do that with. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it works. The absurdity of it, like, is what works. Like you said, like in this movie, like just the fact that there's these two like proper prim Ivy League British girls that are just obviously so incredibly comfortable with themselves that they are.
None of that is funny if you're not playing Battle Shits, though.
Right.
That's the part that puts it over the top.
Uh-huh. Okay, so now we go back to so they were gonna
Bobby
go to this,
Lee.
yeah, they were gonna go to this Asian party, but they didn't want to because they thought that these Asian students were like so nerdy the first time that we see them, and now they find them again and they are being like just animals, which is a trope, and it's a pretty funny trope.
And here come the cops.
You know what this movie really did too? Is it like tore into racist, um, abuse of power, police officers a few years before like we all collectively did. I mean, some of us were doing it way before this movie came out too, but you didn't really see like that many like jokes about. I don't think, anyways. Did it feel?
No, they went there, and
Didn't that feel a little bit of ahead of its time with how
it
far they
was
went there?
for
Yeah,
sure. Like it was later than it should have been.
right. But sort of before the whole like I mean, I guess it's as recent as George Floyd and Black Lives Matter, where it really exploded into the public view.
Finally,
Even though it should have after Rodney King, and it should have in a million things before Rodney King, et cetera, et cetera. And it did. I mean, like there were groups. I mean, trust me, my punk rock group of friends in high school had no love for the police. That was decades before George Floyd. But yeah, really good
one of the
portrayal
driving
of piece of shit
forces
cops in this.
one of the driving forces behind making this movie was to have a stoner movie that had non-white dudes in the forefront, because there really hadn't been one since Up in Smoke.
Well, this came out after Friday, didn't it?
Again,
Yeah, it's
in
Friday.
retrospect, not really
Right.
a stoner movie.
Right. You're right.
Hilarious,
Yeah, not in the way that this is though.
but this is a weed movie. This is a stoner movie. This
Right. There is really the thinnest. This is like plot wise. This is like one rung above the Cheech and Chong movies, but
this
not quite an actual plot yet.
this is the scene that made me laugh more than perhaps any other scene in the movie, though. With the raccoon,
Okay. Yeah.
who you saw very briefly a minute ago.
Right.
He just popped his head up.
You can see its eyes glowing.
And then here it comes again. Ah! Which,
So much blood.
have you ever been near, like, physically holding, or someone that was physically holding a raccoon?
No.
Oh my God, it's exactly like this. Like, you don't pet the raccoon.
Why have
Don't.
you been near people who are holding raccoons?
Dude, my history with animals is bizarre.
Okay.
I've had a bobcat sleep next to me and purr.
Well,
West
did
Texas
you?
rolls totally different. Uh, but yeah, oh God, you don't want to fuck with a raccoon. Like,
No.
don't pick it up. Possums, totally cool. They'll try to scare you. Like a possum will go, it's- they're playing.
This is what y'all did for fun in West Texas, huh? Just slept with
I have
bobcats and held raccoons.
No, my uncle raised a bobcat. Like, he had it since it was a kitten until it passed away. It was a house cat. I used
Everything's
to
a
have a
house
wolf.
cat till it eats a baby.
I
A
used to have a
real wolf.
wolf. It was a hybrid.
Okay. Well, still.
Yeah. I've caught armadillos and raised them. And yeah, I had a friend that caught some wild raccoons. And he's going to keep them as pets. But oh God, that didn't last long.
Don't do it. Just don't do it. Some animals are not meant to be caged. Raccoons, top of the list.
But this T-shirt, Microb, was a little band, the nephew of I think the director. It was his nephew's, just little tiny neighborhood band thing. And I was like, I'm gonna wear that shirt. Getting chewed out by his dad for sabotaging the interview.
Yeah, it's his dad and brother are the two doctors there. They went to the emergency room because of the rabies issue. He's getting the very stern talking to. But then, so he gives his dad a hug.
I'm gonna be better.
Yeah.
I
Then
turned around.
But it turns out he was just lying. He did all that just to swipe a pass card for the hospital off of his dad because he thinks that there's medical marijuana in the hospital, which, spoiler for in 3 minutes from now, there's just not. They don't have marijuana in this hospital.
Or any hospital.
or any
No,
hospital.
no
Right.
hospitals have
Right.
marijuana in them.
And now you did another show stealing for a few minute cameo. It's Ryan Reynolds, who at the point that this movie was made was really, I think, just known for Van Wilder and maybe a
But
couple
Van
other
Wilder
things
was
since then.
fucking huge.
Yeah, but he was
And
known for this type of, like, he was very much at place. At first, when I saw him, I was like, why is Ryan Reynolds here? But this Ryan Reynolds at this point in his career was very much like at place in these movies. These
oh yeah,
yeah,
because he's got that Ryan Reynolds thing.
right.
They
I guess
should
he
have made
still
a
is.
new Fletch. He would have been a perfect Fletch.
They did make a new Fletch.
With
But
him?
no, it was with John Hamm.
Yeah, so no, they didn't. They should have made a new Fletch with him because he is Fletch.
I thought you missed him at in general a new Fletch, but yeah, they did
But
that a
yeah, he
couple years
kind
ago.
of Cal Penn was a huge part of Van Wilder.
Oh, I've never seen Van Wilder.
And I think that was my first exposure to Cal Penn where he really made an impact on me.
Mm-hmm.
There are problematic things about Van Wilder, but all in all, it's a real fucking funny movie. I haven't seen it in forever. And then, yeah, they drag him in thinking he's his brother, and he's a
Right.
brilliant doctor.
Yeah, he's
Somehow.
just he rips like 3 bullets out of this guy and ventilates his lung and does whatever else he needs to do to save the guy's life. And then the guy's like, "Hey, here's how to get to White Castle." So it brings us right back onto the plot.
And there's
Got off the
actually,
plot. Now we're back on the plot.
we didn't get a slide of it, but there's a brilliant scene where Ryan Reynolds wipes the sweat from Cal Penn's brow, which is a total flip of a matching scene in Van Wilder.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And we see Maria again.
Yeah, he sees her leaving a screening of 16 Candles, which it was established earlier in the movie is his favorite movie. And now, so now he's like something to bond with her over, but he's still afraid to talk to her. So afraid to talk to her.
So he reaches down and presses on the accelerator to make him leave.
Which gets us off the plot again. Because this movie would be 10 minutes long if they just got to White Castle. So we need something. Now they're driving through the woods, and holy shit. this might have been like my favorite little it's so gross, but it's also funny.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Yeah. And who plays the character that we're about to see? I don't want to ruin
Oh,
it.
let's save it. Let's save it.
Okay.
Let's save it. Harold, you're so uptight.
There he is. All right, so the tow truck driver shows up.
Freak show.
Yeah, his name is Freak Show.
I
And
want to
okay,
get a better picture.
yeah, I didn't realize who it was until just now. Holy shit. It's Christopher Maloney.
It is. He's Christopher Maloney
Yeah.
in a
What
massive amount of makeup
yeah,
and prosthetics.
known for such diverse things as Wet Hot American Summer and Law and Order SVU.
And a few other Law and Orders, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he's in the organized crime one. Yeah. So he's in at least those two. But I mean, he's been playing this role. He's been playing Detective Elliot Stabler for 26 years now.
Ever.
Yeah.
Forever.
Here's a confession. I have never seen a single episode of Law and Order Special Victims Unit. And at this point I kind of feel like I'm just like for the next time we're all locked in our homes for a year or whatever. Knock on wood that doesn't happen, but something. There will be some time where I decide to just dive into that show, but I have never seen an episode.
It's very depressing, but very good.
I'm sure.
Like it's
And
always just things you don't want to have to think about having
Right.
happened. Yeah, I love the dripping boils.
It's so gross. So okay, so about this character, we need to discuss Freak Show a little bit. So Freak Show is covered in boils, pussing boils, uh, and super religious. So he's been like the whole time he's just like singing what sound like just deep Southern Baptist hymn type things and talking about Jesus and they're like talking about him because they don't think that he can hear or
Well,
one of them
Harold
thinks,
doesn't
yeah,
think he
Harold
can
doesn't
hear.
think Kumar
No,
does.
Kumar doesn't
Yeah.
think he can hear.
Yeah, so then he's like, okay, so he's gonna fix the car. He goes, go inside, help yourself to anything in the fridge, fuck my wife, watch TV, anything you want. So they were like, okay, you know,
But he says it all really fast, so it's like
really
legitimately.
fast, right?
Wait, did he?
Yeah,
What?
and
Did he
they're
say
like,
that?
did he tell us to go fuck his wife? I don't know. But like, you know, what's Freak Show's wife gonna look like? I mean, anyone who's seen a comedy knows it's one of two things. We all know right off the bat that she's either gonna look just like him or she's gonna be a stone cold fox. One or the other. And sure enough. And she's probably an actress who I should know too, but I don't.
No, I don't think she is.
Okay.
Is
her name-
never?
Was her name Clarissa?
Yes.
Yeah, so she was Brooke Dorsa, yeah. I want to know. In some things. Nothing big.
Yeah, she's been in a few things, but nothing.
Yeah. This is probably the role. If she's getting recognized on the street, it's probably
wait,
for
that
this
is
one.
not her.
Oh, that's not?
Ah,
Leanne. Leanne is her name. Okay.
Leanne is her name.
Malik Ackerman. Oh, yeah. That's her. Oh, she was in Watchmen. So she's been in a few things. She was Lori Jupiter in the Watchmen
Yeah.
movie that came out.
Which, I don't.
It's.
I don't want to say I didn't like that movie, but I did not love that movie.
All right, so she's done okay though. She's been in some things here or there, but this I still stand by that. I would say that this and like it or not, Watchmen would be the things she's recognized for. But I bet you more of this.
And she's trying to get him to.
Yeah, but they both have to be inside of her at once. That's the deal. She's like, they were like, which one of us is gonna start? And then she's like, no, same time. Give me the double stuff. giving him carte blanche on the.
It changes the whole meaning of freak show when you think about it.
Yes. So right as they're about to get started, though, what's gonna happen? There is a good amount of topless nudity in this movie, as was the case back then.
Oh yeah, they definitely were earning their R.
Yeah. So he walks in, acting like he didn't make the offer, probably ready to kill them.
I did not.
You did. Sure. You said it. Huh. Since we're all here, how about a foursome? Just tears the jumpsuit right off.
And he's got the tiger print undies.
That's so funny that's Christopher Maloney, an actor who's known for being a handsome enough guy.
Yeah, they said when they offered him the role, he immediately got why. And then Doogie.
Here we go. Yeah, the most famous cameo of all the cameos.
Interesting fact. If you look in the credits, he is not playing himself. He is playing Neil Patrick Harris. And that was an on purpose thing.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. I wonder if that's like a union distinction or something.
No, it was done to show that it is indeed supposed to be a parody, and he is not actually playing himself.
Aha. Okay.
Because, at this time he wasn't completely out, but this is very much not him.
Mm.
But at the same time, this is what got him Barney, because it convinced the world that he could play this guy. But that's what I love that line too, because he sings it. Lap dance. I remember at the time it was shocking to see Neil Patrick Harris doing this.
It was because it's just we just knew him as like he was almost like a Disney Channel star before there were Disney Channel stars. Like he was a child star. He was everybody's favorite little boy doctor. There was an episode of Doogie Howser that was all about losing his virginity. It was like the most controversial episode of a sitcom at the time, and it was all so innocent. And then here he is talking about drugs and whores. And here we go. Is this we're back to the extreme sports guys.
Once again, if you live through this time, totally a thing.
It really was. Is it not anymore?
Not quite the same parody level, because it felt like a real life parody at the time.
Yeah.
Everybody was extreme.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah, and they even had like extreme like chips would be like extreme Doritos, like everything.
this is when Gatorade went wild.
Yeah. Man, what was it about that era that I don't know. X Games was a big thing. Like it was like new.
Extreme cashier.
Yeah. In the X in X Games stands for extreme, right? I'm assuming.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. Not my thing.
It must.
I've never been extreme.
No. Seems like a lot of work to be extreme. But I knew guys like this. Guys who never,
Over-caffeinated.
yeah, never. You know what was legal at the time? Oh, it's all coming back to me. There was something that you could get in every gas station and every truck stop and everywhere that you could go called ephedra. It was in diet pills, it was in all sorts of things. It essentially was legal cocaine. And this type of person would like go and buy it. It's been illegal for a long, long time now, since probably around within a year or two after this movie came out, I'm sure, or maybe even before it. I don't know, but it's been illegal for a while. But that was, I think, part of the that extreme culture for sure. Because I knew those dudes never had a shirt on, as you said, over caffeinated. It was a vibe.
Boy, they've been in the store a long time.
Right.
Neil Patrick Harris was in a hurry.
Yeah, where's the car? It's gone. Car's gone. So they're gonna call the cops. This was a funny gag here. It's the middle of the night, the middle of nowhere. They are trying to cross a straight street with no turns in sight. The moment that they stop off the curb, there's a cop car. Literally couldn't have come from anywhere, but there's a cop car right there, and this huge racist asshole. And see, the way that he talked about Neil Patrick Harris, that was how we all felt about Neil
I
Patrick
guess.
Harris. Hey, Doogie.
And then, of course, he's going to write a ticket to Harold, and Kumar insists on escalating the situation.
Yeah.
Don't fight with the racist cop.
No. Rules to live by. I wish I had White Castle burgers. I was gonna pick some up just to eat during the show.
But when we get to the police station, they have arrested Mr. Princeton, weed dealer. Who had a pound of weed on him.
Yes, a pound of weed that he referred to as his baby a few times.
His baby.
Oh, and I just realized that there was there was that subtitle there. It was mentioned that there is an escaped cheetah somewhere on the loose in the area. So I'm just gonna leave that there for now.
Another one of those throwaway gags that isn't.
Yeah, Fat Black can't dance. He has got two dads. Another good cameo here.
A quote from a 1920s poem called Desiderata. And a penis joke. Yeah, hugely philosophical victim.
Yes. Yeah, so Kumar had called in some sort of mass shooting to get the police out of there, and is now breaking in through the air vents.
They had to film this scene twice.
What happened the first time?
So all the dust was nut dust. And nobody thought to ask. Turned out Cal Penn was, I think it was Cal Penn. It might have been, I think it was Cal Penn. One of them is very allergic to nuts.
Oh shit!
And so had to spend a day or two in the hospital.
Wow.
And then they had to reshoot it with chocolate. So the dust you see is actually powdered chocolate.
Huh.
Weird trivia.
Right. So he's about to break him out, and then he gets a whiff of something wonderful. And then we have a montage of falling in and out of love and spousal abuse. That gets into with between a man and a bag of weed.
And a nice little heart song. Boom, ba-da-da-da-da-da. This movie really does share a lot in common with Up in Smoke.
Yes.
In multiple levels, one of which is all the little drop-in characters are kind of what makes the movie.
I mean, it feels a lot like Harold and Kumar sat down and were like, let's be the next Cheech and Chong. Like even the formation of like just the two guys, and using ethnic sounding names for one of them, but like in this case they're real. I don't know. I think that even at the time that it came out, that was what I figured. Like I was like, yeah, this is the new Cheech and Chong.
Except it was actually created by two Jewish men.
Harold and Kumar was? It wasn't
Yes.
these guys? Oh.
No, they were brought in to be in it, but it was God, what were their names again?
Was it the neighbors?
Hayden Schlossberg and John Hurwitz.
Okay. So the Jewish neighbors that were smoking out of the shofar.
No,
No.
they're just actors for hire. Now, these two guys, what had they done before this? Because they've always worked together. They went on though to do. This was their first movie. I take that back. This was the first movie. They went on to do Cobra Kai, which is funny because there's a Mr. Miyagi joke in this movie.
Uh-huh.
They did one of the American Pie reunion movies.
Oof. Never saw any of those.
I only saw the first one.
I mean, I saw American Pie.
Yeah.
So you saw the first American Pie reunion one?
No, I'm
Okay.
sorry. I did not want to see any American Pie after the first one.
I like the first one. I saw the first one.
It's okay.
I saw the second one, but that was
I may have seen two and given up at
Yeah.
that point. Like I didn't need that.
All right, they did American Reunion. That was I think what you said, right?
Right. But they did all three of the Harold and Kumars.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it looks like that's about it. And then Cobra Kai. So all the Harold and Kumar stuff, American Reunion, and then Cobra Kai. Which was Cobra Kai is one of those things. It was like a big deal, and it was around for 7 years, and people loved it. But I have never seen it, even though I'm probably like I might be in the target demographic for that
Oh, I
show.
absolutely am. And
Have
I
you
have
seen it though?
friends who I, share a lot in common with who love it.
Same.
But the problem with it is it's so big now that if I go back to watch it, it's a chore.
Right.
'Cause there's 7 seasons and I ain't got time to commit to this.
Yeah, that's how I feel
Uh,
about most of this stuff.
if you wait too long,
Yeah.
no, it's just too much.
But again, someday there will be time, perhaps.
It's a long list.
Mhm.
It's a long list. I'm going to go back and watch Doctor Who
Ugh,
completely at some point.
that's too much. That's much too much.
I have it all.
Starting with like the 1950s Doctor.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have everything that it is possible to have.
Mhm.
There's a few
That
completely
were
lost
lost.
episodes.
Yeah.
Well, so far there's hope. Actually, we're not going to talk about it now, but I'll tell you a story that I just learned 2 weeks ago. I have a new white whale to chase down
Mm,
relating to that. But no, if you want to watch any Doctor Who, you know where it all is.
I do.
I don't have the last 2 seasons of the new series.
They're saying that this might be it, at least for a while. Word's not in yet. No official word has come in from the BBC, but it has not been renewed beyond this season. And there's rumors, at least, that it may not be. And I
Yep.
think that would be okay. I think it would be okay if it went away for a while. Because I have not seen a lot of. I saw the first few seasons of the new show, which is still connected to the old show. It's all one show.
Yeah,
The content it's gotten. I have a friend who keeps me up to date on what's going on and explains things to me, and it just sounds so incredibly convoluted to me. Like
I I loved shit. What was his name? The first new Doctor.
Christopher Eccleston.
Christopher Eccleston loved. David Tennant might be my favorite Doctor.
Yeah,
Matt Smith, brilliant.
he was
And
the
then
last one that I saw. Was Matt
and
Smith.
then Peter Capaldi. I slowly lost interest.
And then everybody wanted to like Jodie Whittaker because we all want to do the right thing. But I heard from people who are not assholes that wanted to give her a chance that just really did not like the Jodie Whittaker Doctor Who.
Yeah, I had stopped watching during Capaldi, and I never caught up.
Mm.
I love this. Harold gets a backbone, and he steals the extreme truck.
Yes. This is one of the funnier jokes too. I hope that we got the subs coming up. I think you know the line I'm talking about. Yeah, there we go. He's like, "Oh, they stole your truck." I know. Extreme sport punk #6. Like they don't even. These characters don't even have names. I thought that was too funny.
And then they pop the cassette in.
This was a funny gag. We've all been here. Yeah, and it's all like lame love ballads, and they're like, "Oh, this is so lame," but then like gradually as it goes on, they both are like sort of staring straight ahead, just like mouthing the songs to themselves,
I
and
love that
then
one of them was an Amy Grant song. And then Wilson Phillips.
yeah, in this one, all of a sudden
This is the one that gets
they
them,
just
yeah.
decide to just go into it because we all like some bad music that we don't admit to liking, except when we're by ourselves.
See, I would admit to most of these.
Maybe not when you were 22 though, which is how old these
I don't
characters
know.
are.
I never had a whole lot of shits to give about that,
Hmm.
oddly enough.
I was definitely still a bit of a poser at 22.
There may be a few things I hide. I don't hide my love of Total Eclipse of the Heart, though. Never have.
I've never hid my love of meatloaf.
And see, it's the same reason. Total Eclipse of the Heart was written by the guy that wrote Meatloaf's. So,
Yeah,
Jim
it sounds.
Steinman.
If you close your eyes, Total Eclipse of the Heart almost feels like Paradise by the Dashboard Light.
Total Eclipse of the Heart was actually written for an opera
I believe that.
about vampires.
Nice. That's a fun
Now, if you
fact.
listen to that song again
I'm gonna.
and think about vampires, it totally fits. I watched a recording of an Austrian uh, play that they production of the opera that it's from, but I couldn't understand any of it because it was all in Austrian, not German, but
Mhm.
something else, very German-esque. And so just like it's awesome, it's cool. I wish I could see this in English. We're very, very hungry.
Did we miss the puma?
We did. We somehow missed.
Okay, that's all
We
right.
missed the cheetah.
Yeah, we were vibing. That's okay. Yeah, there was a cheetah. They rode. They got confronted by a cheetah. It was, when was it? I don't know when it happened. At some point, they found a cheetah and they rode it in the wrong direction, and that's how they got to the place where they found the truck. That's right.
Yeah, we're so high we missed the cheetah.
Yep. So the only chance they have now is to hang glide to safety.
And he tells him he knows what he's doing and he's done
Yeah.
this before.
Yeah, he says, my father used to take me hang gliding all the time when I was a kid. Which, by the way, if you've been watching this movie and you saw his father, you already feel like doesn't sound correct. You're like, that doesn't sound right. I
And he
can't
tells
picture
him
that happening.
right as they're jumping off the
Yeah,
cliff.
that he's never done it before. Yeah, and
And
then they
they
find that pound of dope in the car, and they're gonna go arrest the
extreme
extreme.
dudes.
Yep.
And somebody's carved a dick in a field. Because that'll never change.
Right.
People will always be carving dicks and things.
Dicks are fun to carve into things and to spray paint on things.
But it's been
Some
going
people
on
think.
forever. They have
Yeah.
found them on old Roman ruins where somebody had carved a dick into it
And you know what
thousands of
though?
years ago.
I like I I I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't meant to be funny back then. Like maybe it
Oh, of
was.
course. No, it totally was meant to be funny. You can tell, it's
Eh,
dudes have been doing this as long as there have been dudes.
but I was thinking like maybe they thought it was like a sign of like virility. Like I don't know,
Yeah,
praying to the gods that to get a hard on. There's no Viagra back then, so
dudes
maybe if
have
you carved
always
your
thought it
dick,
was funny to draw dicks.
yeah,
Oh, look at that. And laugh at farts, I think, has always been funny.
yeah. Why are farts funny?
And
Yeah,
Doogie's back.
yeah, he is because they have no money. Because the extreme dudes, no, because the cop stole his money. See, dude, where's his car? So the line was, dude, where's his car? Not, dude, where's my car? But it was definitely an Easter egg that line was in there. That's why I'm paying for your meal, prick. I'm glad that we didn't see as the audience.
No, no. Where are you going? Wherever God takes me.
Yeah. And just like that, he's off into the sunset. And what did they order? They each ordered 30 sliders, 4 fries, and 4 Cokes. Which I thought was like insane and like ridiculous. And I remembered what it was like being 22 years old after I'd been smoking all night. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I could have fucking put down
Oh, at
more
22,
food
I totally could have done this.
and not gained a pound afterwards.
We used to go to an all-you-can-eat Mongolian barbecue,
Oh my God, I'd be in heaven.
and I would go through like 6 or 7 bowls. And like by the 5th bowl, Jonathan Panette made a joke about this, but I swear to God, I had an old Asian man yell at me, uh, too much meat, use vegetable,
I believe you.
more vegetable.
I mean, that place, I'm guessing, is either not in business anymore or they're not doing all you can eat anymore because that is not a sustainable business model.
No, they were right next to a college too. That's what made it
Yeah.
even crazier. What are you thinking?
I mean, unless they charged 40 or 50 bucks for a bowl, which they didn't.
But it was fun. The owners had their dad, who was like 65 years old,
Yeah.
doing a lot of the cooking. And I take this out. We weren't in college yet. We were still like seniors in high school. We would bum cigarettes off of him and smoke with him. It was really cool for an old dude.
And these are the places just where you like you put everything in a bowl, you go, and then they cook it right in front of you.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, I freaking love that shit. I've never been to one that's
And
like
Harold is standing up to the douchebags who tried to get him to do all of their work.
Sure is. Ethan Embry and whoever this guy is.
Chin. He's got a flat nose and a big chin.
Yeah, he just looks like an asshole.
Yeah, who is this asshole? Is that Rob Tinkler, maybe? Who's mostly, if it's that guy, he mostly did voice acting. But I can't really tell. He's got the face of a voice actor.
Yeah, JD, I think that's him. Yeah, that's gonna be him.
Harold's got his backbone.
So the only thing left to do now is for him to get the girl.
I'm glad they kept that continuity.
That she was that they
That
brought her
she
into
was
the
the
other music.
girl, and
Oh, me too. Yeah. It would have been lame if she wasn't. If she was just some other random, super hot Hispanic girl that he felt was out of his league. The song that plays during this scene, or during the scene after this, is the same song that played in Friday at the end of the movie too. I forget. I was gonna look it up, but it was like some song that apparently, like at the beginning of the century, they were just like, "This is the song that means that everything is now harmonious and tying together." At the end of our comedy movie. Did you catch that?
I did not. And now I can't remember what song it was.
I'm on it.
Was it I Want to Get Next to You?
Maybe.
I want to get next to you.
Yes, that's it. That's exactly it.
Okay.
Yep. Dun, 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 dun. Yep.
That's the same band that did the Car Wash song. Working
Oh, it
at
says
the car wash.
I guess it says I'd rather be with you by Bootsy Collins.
Oh, well then no, that's a different song.
if ChatGPT can be trusted here.
I don't see Bootsy mentioned on the soundtrack.
Okay. Is I
Oh,
want to
well,
get
wait. No, he may not have been on the soundtrack, though. La, 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 la. Nope. I don't see any mention of Bootsy on the soundtrack or songs in the movie.
Okay, but I want to get next to you is a song that's on the soundtrack.
Yes.
Okay, then that's what it is.
By Rose Royce, who also did the Car Wash song. Working at the car wash, yeah.
That
And the
would have
cops, the
been
cops
my
all get
guess.
arrested, by the way.
Yes.
Cops all get arrested for being racist. The punk kids got arrested.
And there's a very funny visual joke that's coming that ends the whole thing. Yeah. So they say that they have a very accurate drawing of that the racist cops gave of what Harold and Kumar look like, and it's just some terribly generic Indian man and Asian man, meaning that they will never be caught. And yes, ChatGPT, when I corrected it, said you're absolutely right. I Want to Get Next to You by Rose Royce is featured in both Friday and Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle.
By the way, people, do not trust ChatGPT with anything it ever tells you.
Yes, anything.
Artificial intelligence is only as smart as what it was trained on.
That's right.
ChatGPT was trained on the internet. The internet is full of wrong information.
Correct.
It has no filter.
Yeah.
Stop basing things on what ChatGPT tells you.
Verify.
I do
Use it,
this for a
but
living.
verify.
Wikipedia is much more reliable. You still shouldn't believe everything Wikipedia tells you because it is far too easy to change it. They found the other, I can't remember what it was, some foreign language version of Wikipedia. They found that 3/4 of the articles had been written by a guy who didn't speak that language. And he was just running articles through a translator. And it was all wrong.
Well, there we have it. That was Harold and Kumar.
And
What
they
are
went
your
to White Castle.
What are your final thoughts?
I laughed loudly multiple times uh, during this movie, and I don't know what else you can say. We could talk about a lot of other stuff, but it made me laugh out loud multiple times, and I don't know what more you could want.
And most importantly, and I already know what the answer is, but I'm going to ask: was this stoner cinema?
God, completely. Uh,
If
it
this isn't stoner cinema, then what is? Right?
what is? Yeah, Up in Smoke and Harold and Kumar. I think at some level it is not Up in Smoke, but man, it hits a lot of the same beats. Uh,
It's aged better than Up in Smoke. It's one like if you were gonna show it to somebody who, if I was to recommend a stoner movie to somebody who was like 22 years old and was like, "Hey, I love smoking pot with my friends. What's a good movie to watch?" This is the one that I would recommend between the two, just because I think that this is the one that they would still be able to relate to more. You know, it's not even like anything that Up in Smoke did wrong or anything. It's just that like 50 years is a long time.
it's a long time. It is. I
Right.
get that. Yeah,
Yeah.
some of the references.
I mean, yeah, even this movie has references that people, I know these Gen Z kids, not to sound like an old man, but I think you probably teach some of them too. They don't get references from 20 years ago even. So I think some of the movies in this one, some of the references in this one would be flying over a lot of people's heads, let alone things from before there were more than 4 channels on the TV.
But again, I think it could still totally be enjoyed by anyone because it's just funny.
Yeah.
It's just funny. Uh, yeah, we could get into a whole cinematic discussion. I don't know that it needs that. It
Yeah.
was really really funny. It looks good. They took some time. You can tell they put some effort into it. It's probably shot much more professionally than Up in Smoke. But again, I don't think that changes anything in either way. It's funny. It made me laugh. Uh, Only a couple times were mildly uncomfortable.
Yeah, I was like this I have no notes. Like I always have notes and I always have scenes that make me uncomfortable that I think haven't really aged well for various reasons. I think like all the stuff in this movie is like so lighthearted that yeah.
Racial humor is hard to pull off without it becoming awkward.
Yeah.
And they did that here, which is even more impressive when again you look at it and go, well, this is written by two Jewish men.
Well, and it was all the same. Like there were lots of Jewish jokes, but they were written, as you said, by Jewish men and performed by 2 Jews. The Indian jokes were done by an Indian. The like there were no and like in the racist jokes were done by cops that were supposed to be right, like that were the bad guys that were so obviously lampooning like a systemic racism. So yeah, nothing. I don't think that there's
No, it tackled a subject it was intending to tackling. It wasn't even done in a well, we got to throw some racial humor in thing. There was part of the mission of the whole movie
yeah.
was let's bring this out. Let's bring these guys to the forefront. Let's make this a DEI stoner movie,
Right.
for lack of a better term, because it had been really, really, really white for a long time.
Yeah.
It's funny because it started with Cheech and Chong,
Mhm.
and then somehow got gentrified. And yeah, this brought that back in a good way.
So
I
what?
like this even more than the Christmas one.
Oh yeah, I definitely like this one more than the Christmas one.
But I did. I appreciated the Christmas one.
Same, but I thought this was this.
I am really left though with why did I not watch this again? And I don't know. And why did I not see the sequel?
Yeah, I was wondering why I didn't see the sequel too. It might have had to do with when it came out. Let me see when it was released.
I totally skipped.
2008. Um, let's see, 2008. What month?
I had a few things going on in 2008.
Yeah, I did too. I 2008. I guess getting married in 2008. 2008 also Bush had just won his second term or no? Did
Oh no
Obama win?
shit.
Oh no, Obama. Yeah,
You
2008 Obama had just taken office, and it's, you know what? And I think it was like the subject matter too. It was Escape from Guantanamo Bay. I don't know. I kind of feel like I wasn't. It didn't really speak to me at the time. Like it just, even though I liked the first one well enough, like I think I was like just by 2008. I don't know. That could have been part of the reason why I missed it. Was like I just didn't care about Guantanamo Bay jokes anymore, or I don't know. But there had to be some reason. because I never saw it, never went back and revisited it. And there was also, did you see that there was like a direct-to-video Harold and Kumar go to Amsterdam? Because at the very end of this movie, that's where they're headed, is to Amsterdam.
No, I didn't know they had actually made a version of that.
Yeah. Let me see how long it is. It came out the same year that Guantanamo Bay did. And it was 12 minutes long.
Oh, okay. Well then.
Wait, well, because I guess that, so, minor spoiler, I guess that Guantanamo Bay picks up right after this. I guess that on their way to Amsterdam, things happen, and they go to Guantanamo Bay. And so now knowing that it took place in like 2000, so then the Guantanamo Bay movie would have taken place in 2004, not 2008. So that Guantanamo Bay was very big. It was very relevant in 2004. Maybe it was delayed. Maybe it took too long to come out. Because, yeah, I don't know. Like, Guantanamo Bay jokes were just like, there was that 4-year period where we learned about Guantanamo Bay, and all we heard about was Guantanamo Bay, and we all agreed that Guantanamo Bay was horrible. And then a movie came out that was like, stoners in Guantanamo Bay. And yeah, I think maybe I just was, nah. I'll see it in 20 years. And here we are.
And much like you, I was in the midst of getting married.
Yeah,
It's always a big year in a young man's life.
that's right. Yeah, it tends to divert our focus from the important things
Consumes
like
you.
stoner movies. Yes.
It consumes you.
Yeah. All right. So next up, I would like to watch Harold and Kumar go to Guantanamo Bay. I also still want to watch How High with Redman and Method Man. So do we
At
take
some
a
point, we got to do Tenacious D because we said we would.
and we got to do Tenacious D? Okay. So then, do we take a break in our Harold and Kumaring for one of those two movies, or do we just go roll right into Guantanamo Bay?
What do you want to do?
Let's just roll into Guantanamo Bay. Let's
do it.
while the iron's hot.
Let's do Guantanamo Bay.
Write that down.
I will see if I can't get a hold of the Amsterdam short.
Yeah, check that out. If you can, we'll do a little double feature since it's only 11 minutes long. Guantanamo Bay does seem the. I'm a little hesitant about Guantanamo Bay, just because it's 1 hour and 54 minutes, which we'll see.
That's long.
That's so long for a comedy. Comedies should be 90 minutes. This movie was a lean, mean 90 minutes. So maybe if we're gonna do, maybe we don't want to do Guantanamo Bay and Amsterdam. Let's see.
Bobby Lee comes back.
How High is 1 hour and 33 minutes, and Pick of Destiny is 1 hour and 34 minutes. See, that's the appropriate length for these movies. So what do you say? You still want to do Guantanamo Bay? I'm still down.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. All right. Well,
We can wrap up our Harold and Kumar.
sounds good to me. And I'm ready to wrap up my day and head off to Slumberland.
Indeed, it is well past that time.
Yeah.
So, folks, thank you for spending not quite a couple hours with us. We appreciate it. Hit like and subscribe,
Yes, please.
if you please.
Let us know to keep doing this. I mean, we're gonna keep doing it anyways, but
And for the love of God, change your bong water. And with that, we will see you in 1 week. Harold and Kumar go to Guantanamo Bay, and we are going to bed.